Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is Monday, April 26, 2010. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the U.S., 4:30 p.m. in London, 12:30 p.m. in Hamilton. In Mexico City, it's 10:30 a.m. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. Well, on this day in history, 24 years ago today, the number 4 reactor at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant 60 miles north of Kiev in the Ukraine exploded. 31 workers were killed immediately. Untold hundreds, if not thousands, were subsequently exposed to very high levels of radiation. The power plant and the surrounding town of Pripyat are basically off limits for the next 100 years, I believe. So that was, fortunately, it remains the worst nuclear tragedy in our time. We'll go to our main news. It's pretty busy today. In the United States, actually over the weekend, an unbelievably sized tornado roared through the southern states, killing at least 11 people, damaging homes and businesses. It mainly happened on Saturday. Mississippi appeared to take the hardest hit. Here's a picture of Yazoo City, Mississippi. This is in an area called Issaquah County, and it goes all the way up to the northeastern part of the state. Here's a picture of the tornado. It was an extraordinarily wide circumference tornado. It may have had winds of up to 170 miles an hour. The governor of Mississippi, Haley Barbour, who grew up in Yazoo, said that there was utter devastation in the area. According to the National Weather Service, preliminary ratings have indicated that the speeds could have been 170 miles per hour. The PCS people have not yet come up with a number. We're watching that closely. We don't know yet about the insured losses. We do know that 11 people have been killed. The oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico, the Deepwater Horizon, the fire is finally out. However, now what we have is an oil slick. The 11 people that were being sought for by the Coast Guard have been declared missing, and what we end up now is a situation where 5,000 feet below the surface of the ocean, the oil company is attempting to plug the leak of some 42,000 gallons of oil a day, which is spilling out into the Gulf of Mexico. Hanover Re, over the weekend, reiterated that it is anticipating a large claim as a result of the sinking of the Deepwater Horizon. And a large claim for Hanover is typically one that exceeds 5 million euros. The Coast Guard is still not giving any indication as to when the 400 square mile oil slick might be stopped. It, of course, is being added to every hour that goes by with the addition of 42,000 gallons of oil. It could take weeks, if not months, and the oil company may have to drill a secondary hole to try to offset the pressure from that leak. Travelers has come out with their news for the first quarter. CAT losses of $312 million after tax in the first quarter played a big role in dropping Travelers' net income by 2% year on year. Travelers' net income for Q1 reached $647 million. That's $15 million below its net last year. Travelers was hit with $312 million in CAT losses. This was partially offset by an increase of $136 million in investment income. So net written premiums for the first 3 months of the year actually increased by 1% to $5.25 billion. But this was not enough to prevent the insurer's combined ratio by increasing by 5.8% compared with the prior year period, up to 96.4%. The pre-tax CAT losses of $388 million were responsible for about 7.4 points. The increase in net favorable prior year reserve development reduced it by 0.7%. There was an earthquake off Taiwan this morning, about 2:59 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. It was a pretty big one, 6.9. It's the lower blue box there. There is still a possibility of a local tsunami, The quake occurred about 244 kilometers from Japan's Ryukyu Islands and 269 kilometers from Taiwan. The USGS is saying that no widespread tsunami threat exists, although there could be a localized tsunami. The German government is indicating that they're going to help Greece very quickly. They're not going to delay now that Greece has applied for the IMF rescue package. Stocks overall are up about 40 points right now in New York. We'll go to a word from our sponsors.
You may have already seen the demonstration of the CATEX Global Exchange in action. Some of the features of the exchange and our Pivot Point 2 software are especially useful to facultative and excess surplus lines brokers and markets. Here, we see the opening page of the contract workspace, which shows some of the details of a facultative risk as seen by the listing broker. Behind this opening page are screens which provide details of the contract of certificate, details on the parties or markets on the certificate, details of the exposures on the certificate, including aggregate data of the underlying risks, details on each of the insured risks, policy or certificate documents, including document templates, as well as automatic email links. This screen also provides links to details of the layers for brokers, the at-risk markets, premium information, policy accounting statements, the policy claims history, endorsements, and contract documents. The Pivot Point system is the backbone of the exchange platform. Pivot Point provides easy input of data as well as seamless structuring of the data into policy documents, accounting records, and statements, as well as underwriting criteria. The system allows brokers to focus their efforts on where they bring their clients the most value added, determining the appropriate layers and selecting the markets which are appropriate for the risk and layer. In these markets, timing and access to data are especially critical. For example, in a risk involving numerous properties, a broker will likely have a data file listing the properties subject to the risk. The system allows brokers to easily upload data files to the system. The exchange allows brokers to offer the risk and make sure the data are available only to markets authorized by the broker. The exchange software automatically converts the uploaded data to structured data. Markets which are interested in reviewing the risk can easily use the data to underwrite the risk. We are working on providing links to a third-party risk assessment firm which will be able to provide property-level risk of loss calculations. These are only some of the features which make the CATEX Global Exchange and our Pivot Point system especially useful to brokers and markets in the facultative and excess and surplus lines business. Please contact us for a demonstration of all the advantages you can get from the CATEX Global Exchange and the Pivot Point system. CATEX, an unfair advantage unless you are trading with us.
Well, at about 5:30 p.m. tonight, Eastern Daylight Time, there's going to be a test vote in the United States Senate concerning the overhaul of the financial reform regulatory aspect. There are a whole host of reasons why the bill should pass. We'll talk about that toward the end of the broadcast. However, the Wall Street Journal is reporting today that Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway is pushing Congress to weaken parts of the legislation concerning derivatives. Mr. Buffett's company apparently wishes to be exempt from having to post billions of dollars of collateral